It's the Super MMA Bros. Who the freak are these guys? They're calling every fight, never wrong, always. It's the Super MMA Bros. Who the freak are these guys? They're calling every fight, never wrong, always right.
This is the Super MMA Bros again. What's up, YouTube? This is our video about reacting to UFC Fight Night Vancouver. I guess we'll start with the main card. And I guess I was wrong. I thought De Ridder was going to win easily, and that didn't turn out to be true. Yeah, like he was looking good in the first round. He was out grappling Allen. Almost got submission. Allen was fighting off the submission the whole time, but his submission defense was really good. And I think he had a reversal of DeRitter even in that first round, but it was DeRitter's round for sure. And then round two, um, like that was Allen's round, and he reversed DeRitter when DeRitter tried to take him down and just ground and pounded him. He couldn't get up, and he was actually doing damage. And like I remember DeRitter, he couldn't even get up for a bit, and the rest like, "You okay, bro?" Because he was just taking a nap after the round ended. And they're like, "Hey, if you don't get up, bro, the fight's over." And he got up, and I was like, I remember the announcers like, "It's not a good look. He can't even get up." Um, yeah, and then the third round, he looked exhausted and like fucking. He kept trying takedowns though. Like he didn't want to do any striking. He was afraid of Allen striking, I guess. And even though he's exhausted, just exhausting him more, and he couldn't get anything going. And Allen just reversed him and just stayed on top and ground and pounded him. And yeah, I think that was the third. And then it was it the fourth round. I think it was when yeah he wouldn't even start. He didn't want to get up at the end of the third round. I believe, and like they kept asking me, "You're right." He just like got up and sat in the stool, and I was so shocked. They're like, "What? It's over!" And he's just sitting there, and I was like, "What the fuck?" But he did have a big old knot on his face. It looked all swollen. It looked really bad and stuff. But uh, I didn't expect that from him. People are kind of calling him DeRitter the quitter now because it was like, "Damn, dude!" Like, I guess they said the coaches just asked him. Someone said on Reddit like they translate the Dutch. And he's like, "Hey, do you want to keep going?" He said like, "No, I'm like too exhausted or something." I guess he just was so gassed he knew he'd get finished and he just gave up. Which is people are making fun of him, but in a way he's being smart. He realized he probably fucked up and he just used all his energy and he was gonna get KO'd and he's fought 4 times, 4 or 5 times this year, so maybe that was a mistake. Maybe he looked past Allen and he didn't train as much or something like. But yeah, I don't. Let's hear your thoughts on it.
But
Continue.
yeah, the Ritter, to your point, he kind of got Bo nickeled. What he did to Bo Nickel, he got Bo nickeled now. Oh no, I'm getting beat up. Oh no, it's a hard fight. I thought Allen was a little bitch boy. I thought I was gonna beat him up. And like, oh, it's a harder fight than I expected. Oh no, I have a mouse on my face. Oh no, I can't get up. Like you said, he took a nap. I thought they were gonna end the fight when he wasn't getting up. Like, dude, you have to get up at the bell. Like he was taking a little nap there, which shocked me. And
Yeah.
I think what happened is that he wasn't expecting to get reversed because that first round he locked in that body lock. I was watching this fight at a cigar lounge with some friends, and we were all saying like, "Hey, that body lock's in this round. Once it does Aljamain Sterling now. Once that body lock goes in, like Islam does it too, you get that leg across. He's just gonna ride out that round." So I kind of thought the rest of the rounds were gonna go like that. Like, oh, the Ritter's just gonna like dry hump him for 3 rounds and win this fight, right? And so I think when Allen reversed them and then started ground and pounding him, and then he had to fight out of that, I think he's not used to somebody being as good as him on the ground. And hey, like as Chael Sonnen would say, how good is Allen? Like, I can't believe Allen did this to him and like Ritter the quitter. I was shocked. Like, dude, like get off the stool, man. Like, come on.
Yeah, apparently he's done this in the past. When I was reading about it before he got into the UFC, there was some other fight where or no, it was in the one that he like kind of he decided to call it quits. But I didn't see the fight. People said he was getting his ass beat in that fight, so it made more sense. But this one, he did. Allen was landing some nasty elbows, like his ground and pound. He was very good at like, even though he was in close, at like landing elbows and stuff, and then yeah, DeRitter kept trying to do these little like rolls where he like flip and then his legs would be over his head. It's like, dude, your head's right there to get smashed. It's like he kept trying that, but Allen's grappling was good enough that it didn't work. And like you were kind of right. I think Anthony Smith after the fight, like on their little show, was kind of saying too, and he's kind of right that like the Ritter had the one game plan. It works really well if he can like get you to the ground and fuck you up. But then if he can't do that. It's like what he's like, oh shit, what do I do? Right? Like he's like, I'm not the best striker. He has his knees, but I think he was worried about Allen's like punches actually. So like even though he was losing on the ground, he kept forcing it and he kept trying to do the same thing. And Allen's just like, all right, I'll just stay on top and like punch you in the face. So Allen impressed me. I didn't expect it either. Um,
I mean, the refs were going to stop it at one point. You saw them looking at the mouse on his face, like they were. Remember when they kind of
it
were
did
like,
look bad. Yeah, it was really
right?
swollen.
I think the only reason they didn't stop it was because it wasn't on the front part of his eye because it's on the side of his face, so he's not getting directly hit flush all the time. And I think that's why they're like, well, it's kind of on the side of his head, and it didn't. It's a huge hematoma, but it's probably not going to get busted up too bad. That was good on the refs part, but I am a little annoyed the refs didn't call the fight. This happened with Yoel Romero back in the day. I forget who he was fighting. He was fighting a guy and the guy and Yoel Romero played the same game of like not getting up right away, and the fight should have been called. I kind of felt
Yeah,
like
they
it was
cut
a
him some
little bit of
slack. It is
that.
kind of bullshit because technically with the rules, right, they're supposed to get up. The corner can't help them. I remember there's been fights where they cheat on that. I think it was Alex Volkanovski and Brian Ortega.
Brian
Where
Ortega,
that fucker took a
Brian
long ass
Ortega.
snap. His corner helped him up. It should have been disqualified, really, but they kept it. It was I think it was Herb Dean. You know, he's a little always a little shady with enforcing the rules, but like it was yeah. So it was unexpected. I was like, wow, Allen won. Like, I think Allen was ranked, he was much lower in the rankings. I think Dreher's 4 or 5, and I think he's like 10 or something like that. Allen. So
Yeah,
he's gonna get a good fight next. Um, apparently DeRitter like talked shit to Bo Nickal and called him a quitter, and then he kind of did the same thing. But all the shit we're talking, it's like as a fighter, the long-term thing, he's kind of smart. He realized he was so gassed, he's going to go out there and just get finished. And like for his long-term career, it's a smart move to be honest. He thought he's going to get shit for calling him the quitter. His name rhymes, and it's unfortunate. But like, you know what I mean? He fought like 4 or 5 times in the year. He probably knows, like, let me recover, take some time off, come back. Maybe he goes on another run, right? But his height train's a little derailed now because he was like taking out everybody, But like they were like lower level guys too, even like Bonico was kind of untested. But Robert Whitaker though, that was a good win. But he almost got knocked out by Whitaker too. So it's kind of like if someone has good striking and good enough grappling to negate his jiu-jitsu and grappling, he's kind of in trouble. His striking's not like amazing, right? So yeah, like he was calling out. I always say his fucking name wrong, which Chimaev. How do you say his fucking name?
Chimaev.
Yeah, Chimaev. Like he was calling out Chimaev for the title shot. Like now I don't think he stands a chance against Chimaev, right? Because Chimaev's grappling's even better, right? And Chimaev's striking is pretty good too. So if he's on the feet, I don't think it works. You never know, right? Sometimes the styles make fights, but like I know Chimaev gasses out, but so does De Ridder we've seen. So then I think Chimaev wins that if they ever end up fighting somehow.
The one thing I don't agree with that you said is that, oh, it was a smart move for his longevity. Be like GSP, go into the round, GSP tap to strikes. If you have to end the fight early, do so, but finish the round, right? If you're gonna go out there and you start getting fucked up a little bit, call it quits. Like that's what I didn't like. Like this is only a three. If it was a 5 rounder,
Well,
um,
maybe we'll find out more because that mount or that knot on his head did look really bad. Maybe something shattered there, right? Maybe he knew something was wrong. Like we might find out
good
more.
point.
And plus, they didn't have translators there, so we don't know fully like what was said. But there was that history where he kind of did something similar in the past, where he just like gassed out on the floor. So like, you know, we'll see, right? Maybe we'll
Yeah,
find out more.
and like you talked about in the John Jones video we did, where grabbed um he grabbed Whitaker's glove when he was getting ground and pounded, right, to save himself. He's kind of,
Yeah,
you know, I didn't like him from that point really that much, and this shows like how good is DDP. DDP would never give up, even with Chimaev. He went out there. He still, I remember in the fifth
yeah, but
round,
he
tried
probably
to
kind of
get.
likes being hugged for 25 minutes too.
Yeah,
When
DDP's
you've
a
seen it
sus.
in his though. Oh yeah, let me show you something you haven't seen a little bit to set it off. See here.
Into the quitter. Into the quitter.
Yeah, poor Ritter. This is gonna stick around for a while, that meme. But ch yeah, Chime I always say his name wrong. He like shit talked him after too. He's like, this bullshit guy give up, and then big bullshit. So also I noticed there's some guy in Brendan Allen's corner, but like I don't, he looks familiar, but I can't remember his name for some reason. Yeah, but anyways, I noticed that. I don't know, you know who that guy is? I can't remember.
I'm not sure who he is. Well, we're supposed to remember the name apparently, but
I
I
remember
can't
he
remember.
like tried to get in the ring one time. Security stopped him because they couldn't remember either. Like they're like, "Who's this guy?" They're like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" He's trying to say
Interest
he's like the main event or something, but they're like, "I don't know." Like they had to call Daniel, like, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
that kind of explains why his wrestling was so good. I'll give flowers to Bilal only because he trained with the guy. Allen obviously shows superior wrestling. The reversals,
Yeah,
I used to do wrestling. He did a great job at doing those. They're called a switch. Like doing those reversals I've done them in wrestling, not punching. It's tough to get a reversal. It takes a lot of energy. And I remember me and the guys at the cigar lounge after Dervitter got up, took that nap, like you said, we were all like, Allen across the corner gives a little smirk at the start of the round, like he was fresh. He's jumping around, then gives
yeah.
Dervitter a smirk, like, "Oh yeah,
Because
boy."
you're
I
right.
I still
If he was training with Bilal, right, they're just going probably crazy with the wrestling. Oh, damn it, I remembered his name. But like, yeah, right. So the Ritter has good grappling, but he doesn't have the cardio, right? You can see like gasses. He gassed in the other fight too against Whitaker. He looked really tired, right? Like, and I think Alan was saying after like that kind of what De Ritter was doing was somewhat amateurish at the pro level that he really would like clench on with his legs and the hooks when you get the leg hooks in because I get that's probably tiring, right? I haven't really done it, but I could see that's tiring. Like especially he was on the bottom doing it, right? So he's holding his own body weight up by his legs and just like gassing his arms and legs constantly. So like by a few rounds in, his arms and legs are like shot, right? And Alan was just like rolling with him, not using as much energy, and then when he was on top, just staying there and punching him in the face. So it was smart game plan on Alan's end too.
to your point, I felt like Allen Allen was able to beat him because he probably saw the Whitaker fight, saw that Dervitter gasses out. It's kind of like what happened to Roundtree versus Yuri. It's kind of like the strategy with a guy like Dervitter is keep pressing him until he breaks, kind of Habib style. Like I check his grappling, like
Yeah,
just
well,
keep pushing
Roundtree
him.
though it wasn't quite a gas because I remember rewatching. He hit Roundtree with like a bunch of body shots right before he kind of gassed. You know what I mean? Because it was like that shit hurt. So it was he more so gassed because his like body got wrecked, right? So then he like couldn't even breathe anymore. But like a little different, but still kind of similar.
Yeah, and the thing is that smirk. That's all I knew the fight was over from when
Yeah,
he Allen gave him that smirk and was dancing around. Ritter just looked like shit. It was like, all right, this fight's gonna be over after this round. Like I wasn't surprised he didn't get off the stool because it was like after that smirk, after the difference in their faces, Allen looked fresh. It was like Ritter's done for here, especially with that Whitaker fight where Ritter was just hanging on Whitaker. Like, you could tell he was, but the difference was in that fight, Whitaker was gassed too. So they were both kind of gassed versus this time Allen was like, oh, I'm just going to rip. And I think to your point earlier, he knew he didn't get off the stool because he knew he was gassed and he knew Allen wasn't. And he knew, like,
yeah. He
and to
couldn't
your
get off the
point,
ground, right? They almost ended it there. Like, dude, if you're not getting up, the fight's over. He's like, oh, like you know. But like we're not professional fighters. People shitting on him. It's like I understand a bit though. Like, he gave everything. He had like zero energy, right? Like he could barely walk. He's that tired. Like he's gonna get finished. So like in a way, we're giving him shit, but at the same time, it's kind of smart to not to take like career-ending damage, right? He knew he was gonna lose the fight basically, right? He's like sure in his head, like I'm losing. I don't have the energy. I'm gonna go out there. You're right. He's gonna just take me down and punch me in the face more, and I'm gonna lose. So he could have, after the fight that happened just before this, and you saw how Sung wanted to keep fighting. I don't.
Come on, subscribe, don't hold back, or we gonna get Nate to hit you with a Stockton slap. You can trust us, we ain't like DC on a scale. Smash! Subscribe, don't fail.